you may think this is a pretty outlandish claim, you know, one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. And I absolutely mean it. So I thought I'd do this bit of guitar again. I did it last week. So it's not because I can't think of other guitar solos to do on a Friday. It's really because I thought there was quite a lot more just to say about it. If you'd asked me every day for the last 25 years, you know, what's your favourite guitar solo, I would have more or less said the same things. Mick Taylor and Sway, Andy Powell and You See Red Regalness, Chaka Khan's Twisted, John McCurry in The Choice by John Waite, Oh Jim, Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner. Jimmy Page would have to be in there with 10 Years Gone, although I think most people would pick Stairway. Nils Lofgren, Rock and Roll Crook, that would be in there. So pretty much my picks would be the same. Rick Derringer and Danny Johnson on Sailor would be in my top 20 favourite solos of all time. And you'd have all my favourite guitar players, you know, Rick and Danny, Mick Taylor, Nils Lofgren, Gary Moore, rest in peace, would definitely be there. The only kind of newcomer to this list, such as it is, and I'm sure no one pays any attention to it, but would be Tom Bukovac on Last Name and Carrie Underwood's Carnival Ride. But they would pretty much be the same solos. You know, there hasn't been much changing in and out. And in there would be Pat Thrall on Pat Travers' version of Bob Marley's Is This Love. Now, if you had to pick the greatest Pat Thrall solo of all time, you might pick Hold On Your Life from the Huge Thrall album. You might pick Heat in the Street, you know, with the delay effect. And a lot of people are going to go for Snort and Whiskey, but this is my favourite. And I thought I'd try and explain why. I mean, the song, I'm sure you know, runs in this F sharp minor, D, and that's an A chord. So it runs off the minor, a D, and Treat You Right. Sometimes it has this fantastic drum intro. None of this is really to do with Pat's solo, but we'll get to that in a second. And the drum intro is, you know, to sing it is impossible, but it's like ba-da-da-ly bub. Right? So when you hear this ba-da-da-ly bub, bap, as soon as you hear that, if you're not in, too late. And then you slide to that. That's an A chord with an E and A. With an A flat, which effectively makes it a major seventh. And then sometimes, so we get the there's a guitar punctuation effect that goes. It's very delicate and very gentle. I love it. And then it goes. So it's gone from a B. Let's play it up here. Pat Thrall played it up here. So it's like 16, 14, 15, 17. And then 1990. Then it does it again. And it's difficult to tell who's going if he's playing or just fretting the D. It's D and C sharp. If you're doing it on a strat, 21 frets, you'd have to go. And that E flat, that's the first note of the solo which goes. Right? You might want to ping the delay on and off. I don't know about it. You hear this? Right? Now they're still in that groove. And Pat Thrall slides into right? So I think it's similar to Larry Carlton's approach or Steve Lukather's approach in Rosanna. Larry Carlton in Concerto Main Spiral, Steve Lukather's in Rosanna, where you play a slide almost like a jazz player. Because we're playing a C sharp minor arpeggio. And you'll notice the two target notes, the F sharp and the A, doesn't play them. And that's your opening phrase. So we slide in from C. It's not going to sound great, but if you do it as a slide, there's a B. So we're on this 11th, 9-9. And then this little pivot on 11, 11, 9. And then, as I said in the other video, you go. I always think it sounds better to go. And if there is any more juice to be got out of that lick than Pat Thrall gets, I don't know how. So there's a very language. And that's up, down, up. Or down, up, down, whatever, but it's an alternate pick. And then, right, halfway there. That is one of my favourite guitar licks of all time, right? And again, we're sliding into the F sharp. Right? So here's the key note, F sharp, because we're in F sharp. Right? Same as again, but this time we're going. And we're playing that, right? So we're playing the F sharp, sliding into it, and then we're playing A and B. So, trying to think this both ways. 16, 12, 14, and then 12, 15, 14, 17. Now you can go, or you can go. I think what Pat Thrall does is, so there's a much bigger bend on the B than there is on the second time than the first time. Does that make sense? Right? So the second bend pushes up a little bit higher than B, but it doesn't quite reach, C sharp. That's the lick I love. Right, and again he plays it with total swagger, And then there's 3, 4 rather. 4 notes, that just comes out of nowhere, just hangs in the A note. B, so it's 12 and 14. And then 16. And then we're going to play right, we're going to slide into the E at the 5th fret though. And he plays it in a manner that I can't duplicate, but he plays it as if he is so comfortable. As I said before, no wonder Pat Travers shouts "woo" at the end of it. So that is a guitar solo by Pat Thrall that I would confidently say I could justifiably argue is one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. I get that it's all subjective, you know, I get that. But it's got everything. You know, it takes the song to a different place. It's got this easy swing to it. It's not like he's playing against the groove or the vibe. And everything on it, I think Michael Shreve from Santana is playing percussion on it. Everything that on it, all the musicians are just perfect. And suddenly out of nowhere, you know, Pat Travers, you know, there's this, as I say, you'd have to put the delay on off. Right? Because the second time, when we play the D and the C sharp, that note comes in there, you hear a, and then we're into, and my favourite lick, that he plays like, there you go. Pat Travers' Crash and Burn album featuring Bob Marley's Is This Love, and Pat Thrall's solo that, as I've said many times, I would put in the greatest guitar solos of all time, in my opinion.